before we begin, take a breath and listen. The wind you hear once carried the cries of warriors, the clash of shields, and the whisper of a name that the North still remembers. Welcome to Echoes of the Past with Peter. Here, legends are not forgotten, they breathe again. We do not just tell history, we feel it. The rage, the fire, the glory, and the silence that follows. If you love tales of men who defied fate, of kings and killers who shaped the world with their will, then make sure to like, share, and subscribe, so you never miss when the past rises once more. Journey with me to an age when God still walked among men, where vengeance was an oath, and destiny wore the face of a crippled prince. This is the story of Ivar the Boneless, the mind of the North. In the age before men forgot the voices of their gods, when the sea still spoke in thunder and the wind carried the scent of prophecy, a child was born beneath a storm. He came into a world ruled by iron and blood, a world of kings, raiders, and restless spirits. His father was Ragnar Lothbrok, scourge of kingdoms, the wolf of the north wind, the man whose name could still the hearts of 100 men. And his mother was a Slog, daughter of Brynhild the Valkyrie and Sigurd the Dragonslayer, a woman of beauty and curse, with serpent eyes that could see through fate itself. Long before his birth, a seer had warned Ragnar. Beware the woman with serpent eyes. Her beauty will birth a curse upon your bloodline. But Ragnar, proud and defiant, laughed at prophecy. He took a Slog as his wife, and from that union came the child who would shake the world. The night of his birth was drenched in stormlight. The thunder rolled like the drums of war, and the gods watched in silence. When they brought the child forth, Ragnar's heart fell heavy, for his legs were soft as wax, his bones like water. He could not stand. He could not walk. The midwives whispered that he was cursed. But a Slog looked into the child's eyes and said, "He will be greater than all your sons. For what he lacks in bone, he will possess tenfold in spirit." And so the boy grew. His body weak, but his mind sharper than Odin's spear. While his brothers, Bjorn Ironside, Hvitserk, Sigurd Snake in the Eye, trained in battle and conquest, Ivar studied. He learned the runes, the ways of kings, the art of war, and the secrets of the skalds. Even as a boy, he saw patterns others could not, the rhythm of fate itself. When he played board games, he never lost. And when he won, his brothers swore they saw something dark flicker in his gaze, a quiet joy, not of victory, but of control. He was patient, calculating, and utterly fearless. Ragnar, torn between pride and sorrow, took his son to the shore one night. The waves crashed like the growl of Fenrir in chains. "My son," he said, "you may never walk as other men, but one day the earth itself will tremble beneath your name." And Ivar smiled, for deep within, he already knew it was true. Years passed, and Ragnar's fame grew into legend. But as every legend rises, so too must it fall. Ragnar, restless for glory, sought to test the will of kings. He set sail for England, and met his end in the pit of serpents, betrayed by King Aella of Northumbria. When the tale reached the sons of Ragnar, the world itself seemed to stop. And in that silence, one voice rose, cold, sharp, unbroken. Ivar's. He did not scream. He did not weep. He stared into the fire and whispered, "I will carve my vengeance upon the bones of England." From that moment, he was no longer the crippled son. He became the wrath of the North. He called upon his brothers, and together they swore a blood oath before the gods. "By the waves that carry our dead, by the blood of Odin himself, Aella shall drown in his own fear." And so was born the great heathen army, the largest Viking force ever seen. From the fjords of Norway and the icy shores of Denmark, hundreds of longships answered Ivar's call. The horizon turned black with sails, the sky filled with the cry of ravens. And at the heart of it all sat Ivar, bound to his chariot, wrapped in wolfskin, his eyes burning like frozen fire. He could not walk, yet he ruled the battlefield like a god. Every movement of his hand sent men to victory or to death. The earth seemed to bend to his will. England trembled. Villages burned. Kings prayed. And wherever Ivar went, the world followed in silence. When at last he faced King Aella, the men who had thrown Ragnar to the snakes, the gods themselves seemed to lean closer. Aella's army fell. His cries were drowned in the roar of the north. The vengeance of Ragnar's blood was complete. But glory is a fire that never stops burning. Ivar did not return home. He took York, the heart of Northumbria, and ruled it not as a raider, but as a king. He rebuilt what he had destroyed, demanded tribute, and struck fear and awe into all who opposed him. Yet peace was not meant for him. The whispers of the gods grew louder in his mind. He began to trust no one, not even his brothers. Some said the pride of kings had found its way into his heart. Others said he could no longer tell dream from destiny. Years turned like falling snow. Bjorn went back to the north. Ub sailed west in search of new lands. But Ivar stayed. His chariot rolled across England and Ireland, and every place it touched, victory followed. But victory began to taste like ash. One night, alone in the great hall of York, Ivar stared into the dying fire. He whispered to the shadows, "Was it worth it, father? The seas we crossed, the blood we spilled? The gods give glory only to take it away again." Age bent his body, but not his will. He led one final campaign, across unknown shores. And there, far from the fjords of his birth, beneath a blood-red dawn, his strength failed him at last. No one knows his final words. Some say he laughed, claiming death itself would not hold him. Others swear his eyes turned toward the rising sun, and for the first time, they saw peace. He was buried like a king, surrounded by warriors who still guarded him in death. Centuries later, when men dug into the earth near Repton, they found the grave of a giant, bones twisted, surrounded by hundreds of slain. And they asked, was it him? Was it truly the boneless one, whose name still rides the northern wind? So ends the saga of Ivar, son of Ragnar, the cripple who conquered kingdoms, the man whose body was frail but whose will was eternal. And though 1,000 winters have passed, when storms rise and ravens cry, old men still whisper by the fire. Ivar sails again. And so, the saga of Ivar the Boneless comes to an end. A man born in weakness, who turned his curse into conquest. Who could not walk, yet made the world itself tremble. His name became legend, his story, eternal. But behind the roar of war and the whisper of fate, there lies a question only you can answer. Was Ivar a monster born of vengeance? Or a man shaped by destiny? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What does his story awaken in you? And if you felt the chill of the north? If the echoes of Ivar's journey stirred something deep within your soul? Then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Echoes of the Past with Peter, for more thrilling tales where history breathes again. Until next time, let the storms rise, and the past keep echoing.